I think we're trying to keep the excitement down, but it's like, it is bubbling, and all week I've been a bit like, keep calm, otherwise it's gonna peak too soon, but really, really excited, and I think a lot of people, like I've got family and friends going, so that'll be really special. And training's pretty consistent, like we do the same sort of thing every week. Obviously, that session we've just had is the unit session, so we'll change our line outs every week and we'll have a focus in the scrum that we go for, and we'll try and remind each other of that as we go. But it does tweak a little bit, like if we know we've got a really physical game coming up, we'll probably focus more on picks and goes and how we're going to defend that or attack that, or areas to target. We do a lot of analysis, like Susie and Steve are sending out hours of clips, and it's brilliant though because we know exactly what we're doing. So it does change a little bit, but the most, I think, we have our identity, so we try and keep to that as much as possible, and then anything we do need to sort of tweak around that is like comes in, but we try and focus mostly on us.
We keep the same schedule most weeks, and most away weeks look the same, most home weeks look the same. So on Monday we train in the morning. It's a bit of sort of getting moving, getting your heart rate up and getting some real solid input from the coaches into the players. Tuesday's our big physical day, so big defence input there. And then Thursday it's team run, it's putting the finishing touches on the players that are going to be on the sheet this weekend. And then Friday we'll travel up, stay the night, and then it's game day Saturday. So that's the same as it looks sort of every week, every away week for us. That's the thing we're trying to reinforce, is preparation remains the same for this game as it would for any game. We're making sure we play our game and not play the occasion. So we don't want to do anything too different in our preparation to it. We make sure the players are going in feeling as good physically, mentally as possible.
Is it my singing?
No, it wasn't. It's funny, I live in a little village at home. Like, when I say nothing there, like nothing there. So like, everyone, and then some of our friends, family friends, they went to the local rugby club, Wimborne, and then two boys, and they said, oh, Maisy want to come along, and I went along, and then I stayed. And that was it really. I sort of stayed there, and then, like you say, there wasn't the girls set up. They were trying, but it just wasn't quite there. So I moved clubs a few times, and then found a good flow, got into the pathway, and then, yeah, eventually Hartbury, and then here. Like, I actually love it. Like, I know it's cheesy, but like, it's just the feeling of going on the pitch and playing, and the rewards you get, and like the almost like pain you feel when you don't get it. That's sort of almost as good sometimes, because it makes me know I want it more. And then like, it's never a chore coming to training. Like, I always want to be here. I wait Tuesday morning all day just to come to training, and then like you're here, and then you go home, you're like, oh, Wednesday be gone so I can come to Thursday. And like, it's just, I don't know, it's just there. And like, if I know I want to do it because I never think about it, like it's never anything that's bad. But yeah, I couldn't tell you what it is, I just want to play. I've always been a back rower. That's sort of where they put me, and then obviously I'm not tall enough or anything to go in the second row. Hooker's been thrown about a few times, but I've not gone in there. And then, yeah, I don't think I'm fast enough to be a back, so I think I just fit, go where I'm put. So yeah, no, it fits nicely though, and I like it.
Age 19 at university, started playing rugby there, 27, yeah, old. What was I doing? I was playing rugby there, so I was just playing for the uni team at first, just like having a bit of fun at uni, and then, what did I do? I finished there, was going to stay and do a Masters, was tempted to stay and do a Masters, and then ended up coming down to Wasps, moved down to Wasps. Haven't really done anything outside of rugby. Worked at a school for a bit in the reception, just like on the reception desk, in between training and stuff. And then yeah, played at Wasps for 4 years and now I'm here. That's it. What's it mean? 5 years? This will be 5 years since I finished uni. I was playing netball, and I guess I just sort of got to that point where netball wasn't quite giving me everything that I had previously got from it, I guess, like that kind of competition, sort of. At school, I played every sport going, so then to go from playing such a range to playing just one at uni, I found really difficult. So then somebody just mentioned that there was like a college, you know, Durham is a college system, so there was a college rugby session on, and I just sort of took myself down. It was like, I can't remember, like 7 p.m. or something on a Monday, and I just took myself down to the college training session, rocked up, was like, can I join in? Joined in, then the girls asked me if I wanted to come to the uni session the following day. So I went to the uni session, and then it just sort of tumbled on from there. Stayed with the uni team, played netball and rugby in my first year. But I knew rugby existed, so we always had a rugby ball when we were younger. Always went to like the beach or like to the park, and we always had a rugby ball with our family. My 2 older brothers played. It wasn't that feasible. We already had, I was one of 4, so my mum was already very busy running us all around different places. So I guess I kind of wanted something different. Rugby was it. I loved it from the moment I played it. I think I always knew I was going to, but. Well, I've done a sort of a round. We've done a circle. I've circled right back to where I started. So when I first picked up a ball, playing on the wing was just really natural to me. But then for that first year, I played 13, mostly just because it meant I got the ball earlier, I think. I didn't really pass very much. I was pretty naff 13, didn't really distribute. Nobody was really getting the ball outside of me, so not ideal. But so I played 13, and then when I played DMP, so I played for DMP Sharks for a year, and I just flitted between wing and fullback, which I thought is probably my most natural position. It's where the game makes sense to me most. And then I moved to scrum half, so it was kind of a suggestion that perhaps I would make a good scrum half. So the last 4 years up until this season, basically up until the World Cup, I played scrum half, which was a bit of it was a huge challenge, to be honest. I was brand new to the sport. I was playing with lots of people that had been playing for a really long time, and I was trying to get to grips with rugby at a much higher level. I was trying to get to grips with this brand new position that I was learning, and how to control a game, how to box kick, something I'd never done before, how to scrum half pass, which I'd never done before. So that was tough. Grafted with that for 4 years, and now I'm back to where I started anyway.
Pre-game excitement. To be honest, the whole season, when we've got to game day, there's always been a really, really good buzz, and it doesn't matter too much who we've been playing. And I think this game's exactly the same. There is a little bit of a buzz, but I don't think it's too much more than usual. I think the girls are just really excited to be playing rugby and putting on the jersey at the moment.
It feels the same as an away game because we're like staying in the same hotel as we would, we're getting the same food, like the bus, like all that sort of stuff. Like, there's nothing special about it except from it's Twickenham. So yeah, it feels the same, but underlying it's different.
No, I think it's really exciting, to be honest. I mean, with England, you kind of expect that most people would have played there, and there's kind of, you warm up there during the week. We've trained there on the odd occasion. It becomes a lot more familiar, whereas playing there with Chiefs and playing there with your club, it's really special, because you recognise that it's hugely important to so many members of the team who never would have played there, never would have trained there, perhaps might never get another opportunity to play or train there. We're very fortunate because we have Sandy Park, and that's, it's our stadium. We absolutely love playing there. So that holds something quite special for us anyway. But to go there, play where, you'd often, perhaps as a child, you went and watched England play, or you watch huge fixtures happen on, to be on that same ground is important. And to do it with your club is just special, isn't it?
Obviously as a kid, like that's the dream, like play at Twickenham. Like, so being able to do it at club, especially because like we all literally love each other, so that's really exciting. I think it's even getting into the stadium, like even like going in through a spectator entrance, like walking into the changing room. I think just going in, like we've had emails and stuff saying we're registered for Twickenham, and I've been like, oh, like that's really cool. So, but I think definitely going out on the pitch, like I think it's just going to seem massive.
It's the occasion, it's the stadium, it's you know, we say it's the home of England rugby. At the moment, it's the home of England men's rugby, I'd say. You know, we sort of move around a lot, we move around the country, but there's still that prestigiousness around Twickenham Stadium, and it's, you know, it's the real heart of rugby in England at the moment. But yeah, it's an incredibly exciting place to play. I think it's going to be huge for us on Saturday anyway.
Yeah, so I guess the same as like our physical preparation, we're trying to keep everything exactly the same leading up to game day. So pre-game, it doesn't matter what venue we're at, everything will be the exact same. Ralph's really good. He puts a sheet up to the girls beforehand, the week before, so they know exactly what time they're getting on the bus, exactly what time they should be getting to the hotel, exactly what time they're going to arrive at the stadium, what time they need to be out for their pitch mat walkthrough, for their loosener, what time they want activation to start. We get there early enough so we can scope out everything and know exactly what we want it to look like to make it really easy for them. But it's the same as our week prep. Everything is exactly the same, so they don't really have to think, they just have to think about their performance, which is all we really want them thinking about. We'll have the chefs here will provide the women their food for the journey up. The girls on the whole are actually really diligent with what they like to eat. A few of them, they know what they're getting from here because that's pre-organised by the club. But a lot of them know if they want a specific thing, they bring it up. So actually they're really good. They know what works for them pre-game, what works for them the night before, and then we provide a very sort of general bit of food for them that they can have on the way up.
Every night before a game I have a spag bowl. Every time I put my boot on, it's my left foot first. I don't know, I always try and warm up in the same grid. Like, I tell myself I'm not, and if I didn't do it, it wouldn't be massive, but there's lots of little things I'm actually like, oh, hold on. I want to be here, so I'm gonna be here, but if I don't, it's not the end of the world, I can cope, but yeah, I just like it that way.
I have the same breakfast every morning on a match day, or as long as I'm in control of it. So when you go away, it's sometimes more difficult, but no, we always make pancakes on a game morning, and they normally have bacon and loads of fruit, and then like peanut butter on them, and it's delicious. And it's always, I make them the exact same way every time. We make loads of them. So yeah, always have that. I didn't used to ever get fussy about what I was wearing, but I now have certain like match underwear. It got really bad at one point. I had like pants and a bra that I would warm up in, and then I'd change it, and then I'd have just different pants and a bra, and it'd have to be the exact same ones that I then played the game in. And I did it for the whole World Cup, and probably the first like 4 or 5 games of the season, I had the exact same routine. And then one of the games I didn't have time to change my bra, and I was like, oh, this is it then, and I played fine. And that kind of broke it. So now there's about 3 pairs of pants and about 3 bras, and I can wear them and it's okay.
Previous seasons, it's always been like Quins and Sarries, and like they're the teams to beat. And this year, they've probably not been where they want to be. And when they came down here, we had a really good game against them. But then, obviously, that was at the start of the season. So, however much has changed coming into it, we don't know. But, you know, we've still got to prep for it. And they're the sort of team, they've got the players that, like the moments of magic that they have, isn't it? Like, someone will kick the ball 50 metres across the pitch, they'll catch it and score. So that's the sort of thing we've got to be alive to. But they're so physical as well. Like, they've got a big pack. So that's what we've got to... Like, we've got to match that, and I think if we match that, well, not match that, we've got to better it.
Feeling good, yeah. I mean, I think we've had a good run of games. It's always a competitive fixture, but I think recently we've had a lot of competitive fixtures. The score doesn't always reflect what's actually happened on the pitch, and we've had to fight for a lot. You know, Worcester really challenged us in a lot of ways, Loughborough challenged us in a lot of ways, so hopefully they've prepared us well for going into this game against Harlequins, which should be a good battle.
Selection's always in in a player's head, isn't it? Like, you fight week in, week out for a position in the squad because it is so tough. Like, you've got the likes of Ebony Jeffries, who's like insane, and then Tricky comes along, who's insane, and then Rachel Johnson, who's insane. Like, you've got all these players that are so good, and then you want to be a part of it. And I think when you're surrounded by such talent, you're like, how am I good enough? And then, like, when you get selected, it's like, oh, this is cool. And then if you keep getting selected, but it's never comfortable. Like, I'm never in a position where I'm like, oh yeah, I know I'm all right. So, but that's also another good thing, like just constant drive to move forward. But in terms of like selection for the final, I think that's like that's a long way ahead, isn't it? Like, you can't really think about that, and anything can happen between there and then. So I take it more a week at a time. So I've just got to try and do the best I can, but we've got a few games left to go yet. Got to win at Twickers first.
15's clash and we're underway, and it's Exeter in the white.
I think someone who every time they get the ball, I'm waiting for them to do something really, really cool is Claudia. I think because she's at Twickenham, she's at a ground she's played at before, I think she'll probably do some electric stuff this weekend.
The try in the second half, MacDonald! Claudia MacDonald!
The other one, potentially, who's been on form all season, will be Maisy. I think Maisy will be class. Yeah, definitely one to watch. Point to prove.
When you get more game time, it's like you've almost got, I don't know, more involvement, more to play for, like you're in with the people more. And then, yeah, so that's gone well, and then I'm not sure, like it's just flowing. I think that's the right word, flowing.
MacDonald! And that's the game for Exeter! And this is why, because they're going through again! The Gilbreth! First touch in the game, what a week! Zachary! Weaving away, just as we're talking about contenders for player of the match, Kate Zachary. She's managed to get a smile on Steve Selvin's face.
I guess you kind of fall into that. People, say, are you a role model or whatever, and you kind of fall into the role without meaning to, or there's no intention behind it. I mean, for us, we're just running around the field, doing what we love, playing a game of sport. But yeah, you realise that it's so incredibly important that is seen as well, and that the impact that has on boys and girls, I think. So I love it when you get young boys coming to watch us play, because for me, that's the next generation coming through. So if they grow up and they already know that women play rugby and that that's normal to them, then that's, you know, the next group of male rugby players that see it as a sort of a joint sport as opposed to, you know, a separate thing.